What's up, guys? RaininStormwake here. Today I'm going to be talking about AC4. With about 6 or 7 months to go until AC4, I'm sure a lot of us are in anticipation, or some of us dreading that it might be worse than AC3. It might be, worse than ACR or whatever. A lot of people are thinking negatively. Some people are thinking positive. I'm thinking positive. I'm hoping the game is going to be the best that it can be. I'm hoping it makes a lot of changes and improvements on AC3. And I'm hoping they bring some new modes. And from an article that I read, it looks like they are going to bring some new modes. But what I'm going to talk about today is some changes that I would make if I was making AC4. Like if I had some way of affecting how AC4 would be developed. Alright, and we're gonna go through all the modes, and we're gonna talk about at least how I feel each mode would be improved. Let's start with the free-for-all modes. Wanted. Okay, so Wanted, I have mixed opinions about Wanted. I feel it's a pretty cool game mode. I like how your pursuers stack as you're higher ranked. Like if you're first, you have like a good chance of getting 3 or 4 pursuers. I think that's fine, but I don't think that the contract system works exactly like it should. I feel like the contract system could definitely be improved. I feel like the spawning system could definitely be improved. And there's a few things with Wanted and Deathmatch, and I'll just go into right now. Whispers. I really don't agree with Whispers. Basically, the whispers get louder as the pursuer gets closer to the target, and I don't feel that's right, because it lets the target know like pretty much where the pursuer is, at least like a relative distance. And what a lot of people will do is they'll just immediately run away, and that doesn't promote stealth. I mean, if someone's trying to stop their target and they know, when I get close and the whispers get loud, this person's just gonna run, so I'm gonna have to rush this kill. People get into that mindset, and they just know. They know that if they take too much time, that person's gonna bolt, because those whispers are gonna be really loud. So that's one thing I would change. Whispers. Improve the contract system. Try to improve the spawn system. I mean, the lag, obviously, that would be nice if it was a little bit better. Dedicated servers would definitely do that. But I think the biggest problem is just how the game's set up. Like, there's just so many civilians and like so many players interacting with like a moving environment and everything like that. So I don't know. What else? Anything else I would change with Wanted? I don't know. Wanted, for the most part, other than that, is a pretty cool game mode. Alright, let's move on to Deathmatch. Deathmatch, I like Deathmatch a little bit more than Wanted. But the same problem, actually it's a bigger problem. Whispers are a bigger problem in Deathmatch. I would definitely take Whispers out of Deathmatch. And I would take Heartbeat out of Deathmatch too. I mean, the Deathmatch portrait is enough to find your target, and since there are no duplicate personas, you shouldn't need Whispers to find your pursuer. Like, it's so easy to find your pursuer anyway, and like Whispers just makes people like overly cautious and overly defensive, and it really just, it hurts Deathmatch. It really does. Smoke Bomb, I would definitely add a delay to Smoke Bomb. It definitely affects like Deathmatch. It definitely affects Wanted. And it definitely affects Assassinate too. I mean, it allows players to be really defensive, and I would add a delay to Smoke Bomb. There's a poll in the forums, and the poll's asking if they should bring back Smoke Bomb in AC4. And if you haven't seen that poll, go check it out on the forums. I will put the link in the description, if I could talk. And you guys can go vote whether you want Smoke Bomb back or not. Personally, I would like to see Smoke Bomb return. I would like to see a delay on it, which probably won't happen. But I would not be opposed to it being removed if, and this is an if they would add mute and charge or other reliable hard stun abilities. I don't care if they're single target or multi-target hard stun abilities. I realize Smoke Bomb is a multi-target hard stun ability. I don't feel like we absolutely have to have that, but if we're going to have Smoke Bomb removed, we need 2 single target hard stun abilities at least to replace it. So that's my feeling on the Smoke Bomb. Anyway, let's move on to Assassinate. Assassinate has been my favorite mode all throughout the AC multiplayer series, ever since it came out in ACB. And the best thing about Assassinate is it's fast-paced. It's like it's all about outmaneuvering your opponent, outsmarting your opponent, and just making the best of a situation to try to come out on top. And this worked really well in ACB, and I feel like it worked really well in pre-patch ACR. But once they patched Smoke Bomb to have like no delay, and they took out locking and kill animation, which was really awesome in ACR. Locking and kill animation was one of the funnest things ever, the most fun. Sorry, I know funnest isn't a word, but I really don't care. Anyway, locking and kill animation was brilliant. It was brilliant. I don't care if it was a bug, I don't care if it was an exploit, it was awesome. And I don't know, just it ruined a lot of the fun, along with like Smoke Bomb getting buffed and like having an elevation, knocking people off of like lifts and like stuff like that. So I'm glad they actually took that out in AC3. Smoke Bomb really isn't that big of a deal in AC3. Like, a lot of people make a big deal about it. Yes, it's overused. Yes, it promotes like a defensive playstyle, which sucks. But there are other ways to like fix the defensive playstyle mindset, and I've talked about a few of those, like removing whispers. But more so, just like we need like regular kills to be more rewarding and stuns to be less rewarding. People shouldn't be going for stuns, especially in Assassinate. Like, people should not be playing so defensive in Assassinate that like they're going for stuns. And by the same note, like when everyone's going for stuns, then you have people that are like going for vultures. Like, they're like, okay, everyone's going for stuns, so I'm just gonna wait for someone to get a stun, and then I'm gonna come in with my smoke bomb, and I'm gonna take that person's kill, and I'm gonna kill them and get a double kill. So you have this huge defensive mindset, which is a complete reversal from ACB, where everyone would just run around, win a lock, and just kill, 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 kill. And it was so fun. And I feel like if they could bring that back in AC4, just the constant killing with like the quicker kill animations, like with when you have like a silent or an incognito, the kill animations quicker, like you would be promoted to like play stealthy, because you'd be like, okay, I can build up my meter to silent or incognito, and I can just chain silent and incognitos. That brings me to another topic. Contested kills. No, like, contested kills are not needed. Like, okay, honorable death I'm fine with. Like, give the person 100 points, I guess. I still don't like it. I still don't think you should get 100 points for dying. I don't care if you see your pursuer or not. If you don't get away, you shouldn't get anything. You should get points for an escape, you should get points for a stun, you should not get points for an honorable death. You should not get points for a ground finish. Ground finishes are not needed. I'm sorry, they're not needed. I think maybe for team modes, like, okay. Maybe that's like, I don't know. I still don't like them because for the main reason I don't like them is because they mess with your lock. Like, you'll be trying to kill someone, you'll have them locked, and you'll just go for a ground finish. You're trying to stun someone, you go for a ground finish. Oh man, it's dumb. Ground finishes are dumb. Honorable deaths, I mean contested kills, honorable deaths. No, we don't need that. That's something that dumbed down the game and rewarded like bad play. It's just like a lot of things are like more promoting bad play, and I realize it's to like get new players into the game, let new players enjoy the game, but honestly, like, video games like, they need to be challenging. They need to be challenging, especially multiplayer. Like, dumb down your single player, like, that's fine. Like, your single player can be like, you know, difficulty settings, like you play it on easy, and that's like great for new players. They can play it on easy or normal, difficult, you know, but multiplayer has to be challenging. And if you want new players to have something to like go into, make an easy mode, make simple deathmatch. I think simple deathmatch was a great idea. Whoever came up with simple deathmatch is awesome. Simple deathmatch is perfect for new players. They figure out how to play the game. They don't have to worry about abilities. They don't have to worry about things like that, and they can just go in and they learn how to kill, they learn how to stun, they learn how to like use their compass, they learn, you know, the basics of the game. I think there should be a simple deathmatch, a simple wanted, and, you know, maybe a simple manhunt or something like that, just to like introduce people to each type of mode and not make them have to face high levels with like a lot of abilities they don't have. Like, that's a great idea. But yeah, like, the multiplayer needs to not be dumbed down and made easier for new players. I mean, okay, I use this comparison a lot, but I'm going to use League of Legends as a great comparison. Okay, League of Legends is a free-to-play game. I'm not going anywhere with the free-to-play part, but it is a free-to-play game which basically attracted all of the audience that it has now. It has like 30-40 million people that play the game. It's like the most popular game in the world, the most popular esports game in the world. And basically, like, it's got a really high learning curve. Like, you're not going to start that game and be good. Like, you're going to start that game and get your ass kicked. Whether it's by, you know, beginner bots or like you know, higher level or Smurf players, like higher level players that made like a secondary account, or like, you know, honestly, the beginner bots will own you. When you first start the game, unless you've played an RTS before, unless you're like a pro with a mouse and keyboard, the beginner bots will probably own you. And then when you switch to intermediate bots, the intermediate bots will own you too. And then when you go play players, there's going to be players that will own you too. You might go like 0 to 15. But does that make people quit League of Legends? No, it does not make people quit League of Legends. It is a challenging game. People love a challenge. Gamers love a challenge. You need to keep the challenge in the multiplayer. That is my thoughts on the multiplayer. It needs to go the opposite of being dumbed down. It needs to be as competitive as possible. And like I said, there are ways to introduce new players to the game without dumbing down the entire experience. Okay, so the last mode I was talking about is Assassinate. I'm definitely not done talking about Assassinate. Okay. So for ACB, Assassinate was pretty sweet. There was an exploit or a bug with chases that took people off your compass when you got a chase kill. I don't think that was good. But something about ACB in general that I really liked was the fact that when you got a chase kill, it was 100 points. It doesn't matter if you got a grab kill, which was a drop kill, or an acrobatic kill, or a fucking, I don't know, anything kill. Like, it doesn't matter what it was 100 points. So automatically that deterred people from wanting to start a chase. They tried to get better points. Sure, like, there wasn't the reverse detection meter, so it was easier to get good points, but that's not the point. The point is, like, people were discouraged from starting a chase. Like, there was no kill buffer, there was no 7 kill streak of like any type. Like, people are just, like, it doesn't matter as much if you chase, kill, and shoot people and just, like, play super aggressive, like, you know, like, way overly aggressive anymore. Like, it's promoted. It's pretty much promoted. Like, the reverse detection meter, like, you know, it's like, okay, so you build up your reverse detection meter and you can get a better kill. Or you can get a bunch of kills and get your 7 streak and get all these bonuses and get all these other kills, because it doesn't matter if you start a chase, because you can get any bonus in the game with a chase. Like, I don't know. I don't think chase kills should ever be rewarding. Chase kills should be 100 points. Gun kills should be 100 points. Mid-air, sure. Mid-air's a cool bonus. Mid-air, I'll give you. You shoot someone that's running or jumping around roofs and you get them in mid-air, you get 100 points. That's great. That's fantastic. But if you're in a chase, you should not get mid-air. If you're in a chase, you should not get any bonuses with the gun. If you're in a chase, you should not get bonuses with anything in the game. A chase is like, you fucked up, pay for it. You're gonna give them an escape, or you're gonna get a 100-point kill. That's how I feel about chases. What else? Okay, so in AC3 there's a few other problems with Assassinate. There's like the host advantage where the host can like naked stun you, and I think part of the reason is like they have like this lag compensation thing with AC3, and it's like to try to like make it look better when people are lagging, and what it really ends up doing is just like showing your character like lag back, or like get zoom killed or zoom stunned and stuff like that, and like it's whatever. I'm whatever about it. Dedicated servers would really help with that problem, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, if they could improve on that at all, that would be great, because the host having the ability to naked stun you purely based on like having a better connection to the server, or like, you know, to the game, is just really unfair. Hay bales, oh god, hay bales just in general in AC3, like, they're all messed up now. Like, hay bales in ACB were like the most awesome thing ever. Like, you could like avoid a smoke bomb. You could run at someone, make them drop their smoke bomb, pop into a hay bale and just fly out and kill them, and you'd get a hidden kill. Like, that was awesome. Like, I'm sorry, yes, it probably gave too many points, but it was fucking awesome, man. You just flew out of that hay bale. You got you're just like owned, dude. You just got owned. I just hay bale like owned you. And in ACR, hay bales are pretty good too. Hay bales, like, same thing. You couldn't get the hidden bonuses easily, and that was fine. Like, if you don't want the hidden bonus in hay bales, that's great, but at least have them like ACR. You know, at least be able to use the hay bales as part of your environment to get a kill, to avoid an ability, to avoid being stunned, or just whatever you're trying to do with the hay bale. Like, you should be able to do that. In AC3, hay bales are terrible. Basically, when you fall into a hay bale, you cannot use abilities for a second or two. You're pretty much stuck in the hay bale, especially if you get knifed. Like, by the way, like, why are you stuck in a hay bale when you get knifed? But yeah, hay bales, like, they're just so bad. And when you jump into a hay bale and you have a lock on someone, if they're quick, they can just stun you as soon as you land in the hay bale. That should not be possible. They did fix hay bales a little bit, and they're not quite as bad. Like, before in Assassinate, you would jump into a hay bale, you'd have a lock on someone, you'd jump into a hay bale, and your lock would just be gone. You still have a contract, so you can still be stunned, but your lock would be gone. So you just be screwed. So yeah, hay bales definitely need to be improved. I can't forget about this. The locking, the auto lock when people are high profile, it's really, really annoying. Like in ACB, it was kind of there, but you could totally avoid it. Like, and you had an unlock button. You had a designated unlock button with the Y button. So you just like, if you locked someone that you didn't want to lock, you would just hit Y, and you could just, you know, keep locking, figure out which target you wanted while you were running around, and then as your lock was going through and you figured out when you wanted to go in, you could just go in. But now it's like, once you start locking, trying to unlock when people are running around and being high profile, and this isn't just for Assassinate, this goes for like Artifact Assault and stuff too. It's really hard to lock the right person when there's the auto assist. It really screws you over, and especially in Assassinate, like it's terrible in Assassinate. So having an unlock function again for Assassinate would really improve things. And I mean, the aim assist thing, like I wouldn't mind if it like helped your reticule, like, you know, helped like kind of like you know, auto aim in like a first person shooter or something, like kind of just helps you, like that would be okay. But the fact that you can just tap it and like the person that's high profile gets locked, like that's a bit ridiculous. Just improve the aiming reticule, make it easier to lock someone when they're high profile, like kind of like sticky to them or something, but don't force them to lock that person whenever they hit the lock button. So that's my feeling on locking in AC3. Assassinate anyway. And just Assassinate in general, I've talked about this before, I talked about it in a podcast, but I feel like Assassinate should not be, defense should not be as rewarding. Like ACR, defense was pretty rewarding, like pre-patch ACR, but offense was still pretty rewarding. Now in AC3 it's like, defense is just crazy. You can stun the person, and you can build up your meter. You can get like a silent focus hidden if you're by a blend group. Or, you know, you shouldn't be able to get silent. Leave it like it was in ACR and ACB. Leave it at reckless or discreet. Like in ACB it was discreet, in ACR it's reckless. Like that was fine. You should leave it like that. And kills need to be more points. Like it needs to be just as good to go for a bunch of kills as it is to go for a stun and then a kill. Like you shouldn't be aiming for a stun. You should be aiming for a kill. A stun should be like last resort. Like I'm fucked. I have to like throw a defensive ability and stun this person, or I'm going to die. That's when you should stun. You should stun when your life is in danger. You shouldn't be like, oh hey, come over here, buddy. I'm over here. Oh, just kidding. Smoke bomb. You're punched in the face. No, that's not how Assassinate should be. And don't get me wrong. Like I've played it all. I mean, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. Like, I've stunned the fuck out of people. I've exploited the game mechanics. But, I mean, that's just the thing. Like, if the game mechanics are there, you're going to use them. And, like, I've always used all the game mechanics in every game. Like, I'm going to use the game mechanics. If defense is better in Assassinate, I'm going to use those mechanics to my advantage. But does that mean I enjoy playing like that? No, I definitely don't enjoy playing like that. I don't think it's good for the game. I don't think it's good for competitive Assassinate. I don't think, just in general, like AC3 being like so, like defense being so rewarding is good at all. Anyway, that's enough for Assassinate. I think I talked about it quite a bit. I covered most everything that was like really a problem. Let's move on to the team modes, okay? So let's go to Manhunt. Manhunt offense is just extremely overpowered. I said this before. But basically with wipe, shield, smoke, and offensive knives, like your team, you cannot group together and hope to like wall defense. And wall defense, for some of you who don't know what wall defense is, that just means grouping up with your team, working together to try to get some stuns going. You know, you stun a couple people, they're on the ground, you chain abilities, and you try to keep them on the ground and get as many points as you can. And, you know, when this is organized and not against noobs, I understand a lot of people are upset when, like, you know, a bunch of noobs are just getting stunned over and over again. I agree. It sucks. I mean, they can Y out, but at the same time, a lot of them don't even know how to Y out, and it's not a fun experience for new players. So I completely understand when people don't like noobs getting stun locked. But as far as competitive play, like if your team gets stun locked and you're not Ying out, like that's your fault. It's your fault for getting stunned in the first place, and it's your fault for staying there. But anyways, wall defense is when you're working with your team as a team to try to chain stuns and get as many points as you can on defense. And this is so hard in AC3. Don't get me wrong, it's possible. It's definitely possible, especially if you have good teamwork and good communication. But things like thrown offensive wipe, like sometimes you can't even tell that someone's throwing something because they're so far away or they're in like a weird position, and your whole team can get hit with like a huge range. I can't even talk. A huge range. Throw an offensive wipe, and your entire team cannot use abilities for upwards of like 10 seconds. Really? Really? In a game with 3 abilities, there's an ability that can be thrown, can hit your whole team, and disable their like use of abilities for up to 10 seconds? That's really overpowered. Like, people talk about smoke bomb being overpowered, but like wipe in Manhunt is 20 times more overpowered than smoke. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but like it's crazy overpowered in offensive Manhunt. Like, I don't know. So wipe, I don't think wipe should be able to be thrown. I think the duration should be lowered. I feel like the range should be lowered, and then maybe like it'd be, you know, a better ability. Like, it's just it's extremely ridiculous. Even just like the ability to be thrown to taken out. Like, I had no problem with wipe for the most part when you couldn't throw it, but now that you can throw it, it's crazy. Like, no, fuck that. So yeah, defense in Manhunt, it needs some work. I agree that it was completely overpowered in ACR. Like, defense was so good. If you had a good team, like, you know, with the instant deploy smoke bomb, and just the fact that there wasn't a lot of ways to get through smoke bomb, in ACR, offense was hard. Offense was still rewarding if you were good, but offense was hard, and defense definitely had a good advantage. But in AC3, that's definitely switched around. So that needs to be evened out a little bit. Hopefully in AC4 they will be able to do something about the balance in Manhunt, because Manhunt's not balanced right now. And that's why a lot of people aren't playing it competitively. I'm going to be straight with you. That's why a lot of people are not playing it competitively. That's why you see teams point starving, because they know that trying to wall on defense is taking a huge risk, especially if in the following round the other team decides, oh hey, we have a huge lead, let's point starve. Like, it's just not beneficial in like a scrim or a tournament setting to take a risk and try to wall defense in AC3. That's about it for Manhunt, really. I mean, there's still the locking problems, the ground finishes, like all that. Like, all that's still a problem. Like, locking needs to stay. Like, you only interact with your lock. You lock something, you want to stun or kill that person. You don't want to, like, turn around, do a fucking 360 backflip and fucking, like, stun someone across the fucking thing. No. You want to kill the person right in front of you. You want to stun the person right in front of you that you have locked. Just like it was in ACB, that's how it should always be. Lock should take priority over everything. Everything. I don't care if, like, okay, I accidentally had my lock on someone else, and I didn't want to go for that person. Well, that sucks. Take your lock off that person, put it on the other person. If you're not quick enough, that sucks, dude. Like, you messed up, you put your lock on the wrong person, and that's where, you know, auto assist comes into play and is really annoying. Like, auto assist could give you the wrong lock, but like, auto assist needs to be adjusted, like I've said. Alright, well, this commentary is like 20 minutes now. I'm gonna try to get through the other 2 modes. Hopefully this video is not gonna go over 30 minutes, because that would be ridiculous. And I'm all hyped up now talking about this, because I really love this game. I really love it. I love it, but it needs to be fixed. Like, some stuff just really needs to be fixed, and I'm making this video. Hopefully you guys can share this video with people. I want my opinions to get out there. I want other people to discuss this. Discuss this in the comments. Tell me what you guys think. I don't care what your opinion is. It's your opinion. State it in the comments. You can tell me I'm fucking retarded. Like, I don't care. Like, it's whatever. Just state your opinion in the comments. Like the video if you agree with me. Anyway, let's move on to the next mode. Artifact Assault. Artifact Assault in ACR, it was fun. It was fun in ACR. And I think a lot of the, like, Artifact Assault players that play AC3 now will say that they liked Artifact Assault in ACR better. And that's kind of like, you know, the people that played a lot of ACB like myself. And I mean, I'm not a good example, because I really liked ACR and AC3 as well, like, at least, like, at the time, like, but a lot of people will be like, you know, ACB is so much better, and a lot of the Artifact Assault players will be like, ACR Artifact Assault was so much better, and I completely understand where they're coming from. I mean, it's where they learned. A lot of people don't like 3 abilities for Artifact Assault. A lot of people don't like not having a compass on defense. A lot of people don't like shield. A lot of people think that defense is too easy now because you have shield and you have wipe and abilities like that. But okay, so on to my opinion about AC3 Artifact Assault. Love it. It's awesome. I mean, there's a few things that could be improved upon, definitely, in Artifact Assault, but most of them are game bugs, lag, and stuff like that, exploits. Like, for the most part, though, AC3 Artifact Assault is fun. It's perfect for like a competitive environment. Like, it's great. So AC3 Artifact Assault for the most part is fine. Closure though. Closure needs to be fixed. Closure, there's no excuse for Closure being overridden by Unstoppable. I really hope they do something about that. Or just remove Closure. Like, I'm sorry, but no. Closure being owned by Unstoppable, which is a perk. No one's going to use it. Why is it in the game? Okay. So that's it for Artifact Assault. Love that mode. I feel like it's pretty good in AC3. Not many complaints. Domination. Domination is a great mode. I don't know why it's not played more. I think it needs more time to grow. And I think just the fact that like AC3 has some like inherent problems and just stuff that needs to be fixed, like matchmaking and just like, I don't know, just in general, like a lot of the competitive players just stopped playing AC3 as much, and I'm kind of included. Like, I still mostly play Artifact Assault, but I still play the game. Like, I'll jump into like the other modes, you know, I'll play a little bit here and there. But I mean, for the most part, like, I think Domination definitely has a lot of hope. Domination is a really cool mode, and people aren't playing it because, like, aren't not playing it because it sucks. Like, it definitely doesn't suck. Domination is actually a really cool mode. I'm actually really glad they came out with it, and I hope it comes back in AC4. In fact, I hope every mode that we have now comes back in AC4, and they just add a couple, like 2 or 3 more modes, if possible. That's my hope for AC4. I guess that's about it. I mean, I pretty much covered everything. Like, there needs to be like not as many bonuses. It needs to be harder to score high. Defense needs to be less rewarding in certain modes, like especially in free for all. Manhunt needs to be balanced. For the most part, these are the changes that are important going into AC4. Like, the game needs to be less dumbed down and more challenging. It needs to have more of a progression, more of a high learning curve, and it needs to be harder to be able to compete. Like, in AC3, really to compete, all you need to do is know how to use the best abilities, and like that's really about it. Like, yes, skill helps, free running helps, like knowing how to do everything, like, and like all the strategies and stuff, all that stuff helps. But when it comes down to it, there's 3 abilities in AC3, and knowing how to use those 3 abilities well will make you competitive. And that's not how it was in ACB. Like, it didn't matter what abilities you had if you were an amazing player. You could go into ACB Assassinate with no abilities, and if you were that good, you would beat everyone anyway. Like, you could avoid smoke, you could avoid everything. You could avoid smoke bombs, you could avoid everything in ACB. And that's not to say that ACR and AC3 don't take skill. They definitely do take skill, but each game has added more newbie friendly stuff that's just made the game a little bit more dumbed down and a little bit easier to compete with high level players. And that's not what you want, especially if you want to go into like an esports type environment. Like, if you want to bring your game to an esports level, it definitely needs that. Oh, and okay, that definitely reminds me of something I almost forgot to talk about. Private matches. Private matches need to be fixed. You need to not have to wait 10 minutes to have the teams correct. You need to be able to pick your team. You need to be able to pick your map after every single game. You should be able to make adjustments. You should be able to limit abilities. You should be able to take whatever abilities that you want out. Be like, okay, I don't want this ability. Check it off. Get out of here. There should be an ability list. There should be a map list. I mean, there should be customization for private matches. That would really make it easier to compete. I mean, to throw scrims, to throw tournaments, to do all that kind of stuff. Matchmaking in general, I think I talked about this, but matchmaking in general is pretty bad. It needs to better match players with players of their appropriate skill level. Like, you shouldn't be a prestige 20 playing against level 1s. Like, it should just, I don't know, it should just tell you, like, there's no games available of your skill level, or, I don't know, they should improve it somehow. I don't have a solution for matchmaking. Like, I'm not a technician, I'm not a developer, I don't know that, like, what exactly it entails to, like, make matchmaking good in a game like Assassin's Creed. But all I know is the matchmaking is not that great. Compared to ACR, it's better, it's definitely better, but it's still not that great. Spectator mode. Spectator mode would be great. It would be a great way for new players to learn. I mean, you don't need to dumb down the game. Just give them something like spectator mode. Let them watch the best players. Give them the option to watch some of the best players. I mean, it's as simple as that. Like, it could just, you know, like League of Legends has a really awesome spectator mode, and I don't expect Assassin's Creed to have anything like that anytime soon, if ever. But basically, League of Legends has, you know, you can watch Diamond, which is like the second highest tier, Diamond to Challenger rated players playing. You click spectate. I mean, there's a bunch of different options. You can scroll all through the different games, find, you know, maybe even some pro players that you want to watch. Just click spectate and you watch them play. You learn things, and it's really cool. So a lot of these things would be really nice if AC4 Black Flag brought them into play for the multiplayer. But let's be realistic. They've only had like a year to develop AC4 Black Flag, so let's just hope for some good changes. Let's hope even some of the things I mentioned might be at AC4, and let's just hope it's a better game than AC3. I love AC3. I'm not downing on AC3. I like it, but it has some shit that needs to be fixed, and let's hope that shit gets fixed going into AC4. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. Please like it, share it with people. I would like opinions. I would like to see lots of opinions in the comments. I want the developers to see this, and I want this to be a place people can go and state their opinion on like what they would like to see in AC4 and, you know, AC5. You know, maybe they can implement some of this stuff by AC5. Yeah, please leave some comments. Please like the video and subscribe also if you liked this video and you want to see more Assassin's Creed, more just gaming in general. I'm going to be bringing lots more games to my channel. We'll always have AC3. Take it easy, guys. Peace.